Welcome to Momentum Monday. Today is October 15, 2023. Howard, have you been following what's going on in the market at all?
No, earnings is coming up. Last week was all about tracking my friends and Israel. This week, the same, but catch me up on what I missed.
All right. I mean, speaking of earnings, JPM was Morgan Chase was the first one to report on Friday. It crushed estimates. As you can see, earnings surprised by 20%. Tried to rally, but the overall weight of the market pushed it down close near the lows. So overall, since October 6th, we had the so-called follow-through day in the Nasdaq 100. The market rallied for exactly 4 days, 4.5 days, and we saw the same pattern repeat ever since August. 1 week rally followed by pretty serious selling. So towards the end of the week, we saw a couple distribution days, no indices. Small caps continue to be notably weaker.
Yeah, that's relatively all-time lows against the Qs, actually.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, there are so many
versus the Qs, yeah.
So many hedge funds that have been doing that pair trade, long the Qs, short the Russell 2000. It's a really popular trade. I mean, at some point we'll probably see a huge reversal, but it's not right now. If we have a year-end rally, it's very likely that the Qs are going to outperform in this high interest rate environment. And then the small caps, many of which are highly indebted, don't have the positive cash flow, are likely to continue to get pressed. So, I mean, other than the overall price action where we saw a brief rally attempt and then a distribution towards the end of the week, there's still a chance that if the indices manage to go above their last week highs, they might form like a higher low, and then we might see a potential year-end rally. But as of right now, the price volume action is not really leading us to that conclusion. Maybe earnings season is gonna give us some more clue. Beyond the indices, what's going on under the surface? There have been several industry groups that are starting to stand out. One of them is defense stocks. Obviously, the conflict in the Middle East is escalating. So we saw a big gap in all the defense stocks on Monday, and they kind of spend the rest of the week going sideways. So this is kind of typical mini bull flag. So we might see a potential continuation. And interestingly, here are a few others. NLC, LMT, I mentioned. All the gun and ammunition stocks are even looking better on a longer time frame, like Exxon, your favorite one, setting up for a potential break.
I mean, it's the best of the worst. Yeah, I mean, it's just such a great company, and
Setting up on multiple time frames.
Are they in any of the index? How do we check if that's in an index? Yeah, 16 billion is probably in an index. Is there any?
Probably, I really don't know. People can research that later. Another one was SWB.
And that's going high. I mean, that's going high.
Smith & Wesson, not near all-time highs, but it's starting to kind of break out from a multi-month, like basically 52-week high, basically this breakout. RGR looking much worse than the rest, but definitely strong week. VS Steel, another one setting up. So yeah, this is one of the themes that is, I mean, obviously it's not a pleasant theme, but we're following price action and just pointing where the money is flowing.
Yeah, I mean, financials is where that's where the bigger, so JP Morgan, that's huge that it just couldn't hold the gains. So you want to see it above 160. So nothing to do there. Walmart kind of gave back. That was a leader. It's kind of falling back into a base.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we have to.
You're not getting. I think Avigo, which was all Broadcom, AVGO, that's kind of the first to really break out. Oh, but they fell back. Okay.
So the same right, but they had a pretty bad Friday,
I mean,
obviously.
right now, there's just no trade, like above 160, like, focus on your family and
Range bound, yeah.
yeah, it's range bound. It's very heavy out there. Mood is terrible, so that's bullish. But it's just the Middle East is a mess right now with Qatar. Twitter's an absolute mess, which is very polarizing. But seasonality, everybody's betting on the seasonality, and so I think you wait for some strength. Oh, is that the Qatar index? There's an actual index.
Yeah, it's an ETF. I have no idea what they own. I would have
They
thought
do. They steal and cheat, have all the oil in the world, and the fucking ETF sucks. Just typical. Okay, so the Axon story is interesting because no, not Axon. Axon is probably Taser, AXON.
Oh, sorry. AXN. Okay.
Been talking about that forever. That's building a great base. The other interesting one is Fashology. Lulu got added to the S&P on Friday after the close.
Yeah.
So that's right back up against 400. That's a huge advantage for them, I was telling people, because World War Nike is no longer cool. The Lulu now will benefit from being the S&P 500, so they have a huge edge over their competitors because the dips will get bought. They can use their stock to do acquisitions. They cut that Peloton deal. That's kind of a break. I wonder how it got out. What's the market cap? Okay, close to 50 billion. So I don't know who they replaced, but
45,
that's interesting. That's an interesting move. That's an interesting benefit. It's an interesting benefit for a company that's really
absolutely. But in a short-term perspective, they usually don't do that well. The stocks there.
Yeah. But I'm saying this is a huge advantage for them in the industry now.
Longer term,
The stock is indexed, so they have a more stable stock price.
Yeah. Above 400.
So the only thing else I thought was interesting was to keep an eye on the financials. Where's Interactive Brokers?
Okay, let's see where's
in Goldman.
I mean, they're pulling back in general.
Where's Goldman?
And Goldman's, they're reporting earnings this week. So
yeah, I don't see what, like, if you're not, there's nothing to do here.
It just depends on your time frame. There are a few industries that I mentioned. One of them defense, another one obviously weight loss stocks near
everybody's in that
multi-year highs. And
the volume is insane, so you gotta be long.
Yeah, I mean, NVO, they've been doing well for a while. Even
there's two companies to buy, right? But it's $1 trillion if you add the two up, Lilly and Novo. That's $1 trillion.
Yeah, what is it? 350?
Yeah, so 350. Where's Lilly?
Lilly is almost 600.
Yeah, how big is McDonald's? So, like, look at this trade. Look, so where's McDonald's at? What's the valuation of McDonald's?
There you go. That's a long-term chart.
It's 180 billion. Notice how they're starting to pull back as Ozempic and Lilly do well. Like, those are like, if your appetite truly drops, if the heavyset America has a 20% or 10% less appetite, that's a lot of food that doesn't get eaten at the places. McDonald's is the proxy for that. It's very interesting that Lilly and Novo are up 20%. McDonald's is down 20% in this last move. So they're going to take market share away from food. So you can see that. So overall, that's $1 trillion of market cap, Lilly and Novo. But momentum is momentum, and that's what's working. It could be a short fast food, long fat pill trade.
I don't know. I think that's way too complicated trade.
No, but I'm saying Lilly and Novo is $1 trillion. So those are going to be heavily bought on dips, unless there's news saying these drugs cause problems. And then in the FANG stocks, I think Meta looks the best. The one that I've been talking about the most. Looked really like it was going to break out but this week, obviously, with war in the Middle East, and let me just see where that is. But they are really in a strong position.
Or 800 billion right now.
They are really in a strong position because Twitter is done. Twitter's shrinking, and they have threads. Every time Twitter does something stupid, it helps the people that just are sick of Twitter. I posted on Threads for the first time in months because I got off Twitter for good today. So we'll see how that does there. But Ray-Bans, the new Oculus, WhatsApp groups, especially in wartime, and Instagram crushing. The other one that seems to be benefiting the social network is Pinterest. They're surviving. They're not thriving per se, but you can see how they well, everything else got volatile, like Snapchat and Twitter going to wayside. They have not completely collapsed, and they've got their market. Yeah, Snap is a goner. Pinterest has a chance. And
do you know anyone who uses it?
Well, women.
Okay.
And ads are working there, according to a lot of people that I talk to. So obviously people are using, what's the market cap? Look, they're supposed to earn $1.20.
18 billion.
Okay, so if they can earn $1.20 and 20.
Yeah, they're profitable, interesting, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just saying they figured it out. I'm not saying it's a growth company, but they figured it out. Snapchat didn't. Let's look at Square. I mean,
No.
some of these fintech companies, I'm just going around the horn just trying to see these companies haven't made money. Oh, wait, it's going to earn $2. So eventually these things should start finding a floor here, unless their numbers are off.
Yeah. What was the name of that Dutch company? ADM something. Let's see.
Yeah. But I
But
mean,
the other day I went to get a haircut and I saw my hairdresser is using Adyen for payment instead of Stripe. I asked him why are you using that, and he said, "Ask my wife." So he didn't know why.
yeah, Adyen's a very popular product, but again, margins matter. All right, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I saw.
I mean, oil obviously, Howard, is kind of bouncing a lot of energy. I don't know how sustainable that is since oil really had a big pullback for that conflict.
Yeah, I don't have any great ideas. You saw the transportations pull back. That's scary. You know, war in the Middle East, people will stop traveling. That's Frontline.
I mean, these
I thought like Uber was looking great. It kind of gave up the trannies. Yeah, it's still in a range. Where the trannies at?
China?
No, transportation's IYT.
Oh, okay. Breaking down in general.
The economy does not look good. 7% interest rates, a war, and not a war that like anybody's winning. This is just a bad war, right? We're really seeing evil. This is the type of war that drags on. But again, I think we know them. If we look at the cues, you don't have to be a hero here if we just end on the cues.
They seem to be the leader. If there is a year-end rally, they seem to they'll continue to lead. And what's your take on gold here? Since it finally bounced, obviously it's in the no.
Yeah, I mean, don't know, don't care. Above 190, maybe it gets interesting, but it's knocked on that door a bunch of times. So when it finally gets through 190, it'll probably be in the middle of the night somewhere. So the futures is probably the way to own it. Just not interesting to me. So it feels like this is a good week to just kind of watch and just.
I mean, earnings season starts. We have Netflix. We have Intuitive Surgicals, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America. A few interesting companies are reporting. Interestingly, all of the medical equipment stocks have been selling off, people say because of Ozempic, but how miraculous is this Ozempic impacting so many industries? It's just
don't know.
Curious to me.
Don't know if America loses 20 overall.
Look at IHI.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite ETFs that I got out of, but like that's a
what is it?
Move down.
So what's the 3-year low?
Holy smokes. So what's the biggest stock in there? iSurge? Medtronic? What happened to Medtronic?
Let's see. Yeah, that's multi-year low, Howard. Yeah, all of them. So many of them. Yeah.
Generally been the safest. Yeah, so that's
Most
interesting.
safe places. Look
But
at
then
safety.
cyber is the big benefactor here with war.
Oh, definitely. In terms of tech, cybersecurity stocks are definitely showing incredible strength. The first one to break out, so probably there is some
What's
form of
the market cap 80 billion? I don't know if that mark. I mean, yeah,
so
they're the
PA,
leader.
W, what was your ZS, Zscaler,
Cyber.
yeah, we'll get to cyber. I mean, the Israeli company that they got hit.
And Checkpoint, I guess. Yeah. It just, I've
Checkpoint
always heard that they just can't get big enough.
and what was the other one? Crowd, yeah. Crowd and the government one, PLTR, also showing notable strength. So definitely, this is the sector that's
Very few like great.
really.
So far we've seen Axon, we got Palo Alto Networks and a few semis, still NVIDIA, still Avago.
Yeah, all of
Pretty
them
smart
are.
picking. Where's Apple?
Apple,
Doing
it's
great.
something. I mean, it's
Great.
a
Apple and Google, Facebook, they're doing great. Google,
yeah. All the
that's,
mega caps are. I mean, they're kind of safety play, right? Like a defense play in a way.
you know, at $7 a share, it's 20 times earnings. It's not like not great. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, everybody.
Okay.
Have a great week. Everybody will
All
see
right.
you.
You can go. Bye.
Okay.